Assassin hood cleaner, coming for your Rasta queen. Rape on the washing machine, no use to fight back. MMA, knock your nigga head like a KKK. Push your nigga mouth if you can't walk the talk. Smoke, me running, me running really, really fast. Ginger eye on the back of me black ass, chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Closing inch by inch, got me in a pinch. Modern day Scotty Rock a laundry lynch. Chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Oh, close, smoke, me running really, really fast. Ginger ire on the back of me black ass, chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Closing inch by inch, got me in a pinch. Modern day Scotty Rock a laundry lynch.
What is going on, everybody? How we doing today? As usual, hope we're doing well. It is a Friday. We're doing our usual Friday stream. Excuse me. Yeah, you know, just another Friday, another week. What is going on? One moment. What is going on? Zachary Vered. I see that you are also on Kick. Yes, I keep forgetting. I mean, look. I planned on doing Kick streams. I could still do those Kick streams. It's just everything's been so crazy that it's like, you know, Kick exclusives are not. I mean, streaming in general is not at the top of my list of things to do right now, honestly. But especially not like, hey, let's make sure, absolutely sure we get the Kick streams in, you know. Fucking A, dude. I just wolfed down some pizza and a little bit of ice cream too. And yeah, so I'm a little, you know, it's coming back up. It's trying to come back up. But thank you, Zach, for doing your thing on my streams. You know, I appreciate the hell out of that. Excuse me. It does mean a lot to me. You know, we're just gonna be doing our thing, chilling as usual. I'll probably play a little bit of Arc Raiders or maybe something else. What was I gonna say? I've been playing Fallout 2 again. I started a Fallout 2 playthrough, and I'm starting to make my way through that. And hopefully, I'm doing it the right way this time. This is my third playthrough for Fallout, and it will be the first one that I have actually successfully completed. Because my first playthrough, I actually fucked up. I didn't. You see, video games are a power fantasy for me. Video games are something that I do because I just got to the end of the day and I feel like I want to like mow down some zombies or whatever, right? That's what video games are to me. So I'm used to video games, if I'm being honest with you, where it's almost impossible to fail. You will not just get stuck randomly. Fallout 2, I got stuck on Frank Horrigan. I did not make a character that was good enough to beat Frank Horrigan. So I fucked up. I done goofed. Then there is what was there? Oh yeah, the second time I actually planned on doing a 24-hour stream. I was going to do a 24-hour stream where I played through the entirety of Fallout 2. I started it, and then I think around like 10 or 11 a.m., I was like, fuck it, I'm going to bed. I'm going to sleep, you know? So that's what happened there. This third one, though, I think I got it, you know? But yeah, you playing Fallout 2 on this stream? I don't know if I'm going to be playing Fallout 2 on this stream, you know? Maybe not. We'll see what happens. Scott X Ghost Politics collab coming when. Like I've been hearing about that guy. I really don't know anything about him. And I got to be honest with you, I'm a little skeptical of anybody, and this is not a condemnation of ghost politics or anything like that. But if I'm just being honest with you, I'm a little bit skeptical of anybody over the age of like 30 who watches Fish Tank. I got to be real with you. I actually, funny enough, the only time I was ever recognized in public for being on Fish Tank outside of like an MDE event was I went to a sectional tournament, which if you wrestle, and I think track and field does this too. If you wrestle, there is a tournament at the end of the year. It's called a sectional tournament, and what that is you have a certain area of your state that is kind of blocked off, and everybody who is in that section, they wrestle off against each other, and then the winners of those tournaments, each of those throughout your state, they go on to a state tournament where they wrestle against all the sectional winners, and it goes up. There's like state, all state, this, that, the other thing. But I was at a sectional tournament because I was watching some of the kids that I coached wrestle, and I sit down in the stands, and this fucking guy who's in his like 40s, I would guess, maybe 50s, but I don't think he was in his 50s. If he was like 50, 51. He's like, "Hey, are you Scott Sullivan?" I was like, yeah." He was like, "Oh, I watched you on Fish Tank." It was like the dad of one of the wrestlers at this high school wrestling tournament. I was like, "Oh, geez." He was a nice guy too. He was a nice guy. But it was just like, wow, that's crazy. Of all people to recognize me, I didn't think it would be the father of a wrestler at a sectional tournament. That's pretty insane. Oh man. Oh, excuse me. Geez, but what's going on, Nuclear Snake? What's going on, Cavalog? Hope we're all doing well tonight. I feel like I'm home again. Feels like Dad's home. Feels like Daddy's home now that you're here, Cavalog. Swaggy set up, big man. I've missed a lot. Hope all is well. Hope herself is good. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I just it was kind of fucking annoying and weird. My landlady. I lived in a condo, and it was owned by the landlady, right? The owner of the condo wanted to sell the condo, and she knew that she probably wasn't going to sell it to somebody who wanted to be a landlord. So she was like, "Hey, I'm going to be selling this place. You should find somewhere new to live." We couldn't find a place in time. We do have a place that we're going to be living now, but because of that, I actually had to move some of my shit into my parents' house. My wife and I have been staying here for the last few weeks, but luckily June 1st, we're going to actually, we've already started. Like, a lot of our stuff is at the new place. It's just officially we won't be like living there, excuse me, full time until June 1st. Oh man, what the hell's going on? Oh man, but yeah, did a deep dive on ghost politics. Cause was alluring. Excuse me. That guy's never going anywhere and this will be his peak. Yeah, and that's something that happened where like I wasn't like looking into the guy, but I noticed like, oh hey, there's this thing going on with that Landon guy from season 5. I wonder what's going on here. And apparently the guy has been around. Like he's kind of been like he's been around. It's not like this is like the one thing he's been involved in, but he's one of those guys who like he's been in the background of things that you've been aware of. That's kind of the idea that I get. I don't know what those things were, but like from how some people talk about him, he's kind of just been there this entire time, not just with Fish Tank, but a lot of things on the internet. So that's interesting to me. Glad I found Fish Tank in my 30s. I don't think I'd have been interested in my 20s. Yeah, there's a certain age where it's like, okay, what are you doing watching Fish Tank? That it almost feels a little weird. What are you doing here? But yeah, because that dude's like, he sounds like he's in his like late 40s, early 50s. This guy, Ghost Politics, and it's like, what the hell's going on? I heard you was gonna eat shit, so I came to tune in. What time can we expect the poo eating? Right now. Right now. I haven't finished the ice cream yet. It's melting. Oh man. Man, oh man. I got all my shit here. I got the baby shoes for my daughter. No, I'm kidding. I don't have a fucking kid yet, and I'm not having a kid. I got those for free. They came in. They're called Fun Delivered. It's called Fun Delivered, and my mom does this thing every year for Christmas where we kind of do like a Fun Delivered order, and we almost treat it like a Secret Santa sort of thing, or not Secret Santa. Um, what is it? What is it? What is it? Yankee swap. We almost treat it like a Yankee swap, and we just like grab the stuff and we tear it open. And I was like, oh shit, like those are brand new. I could probably sell them. So that's literally what I'm trying to do now. In addition to a bunch of other shit that I'm trying to sell. Yo, what's going on, Musta X1? How you doing, man? It's been a minute. Yeah, yo, he did it. You want me to eat shit? I'll eat your shit. You want me to eat shit? I'll eat your shit on the fish tank lawn. You want me to suck your dick? Ghost Politics is basically a radio show and has a dedicated trolling community dedicated to him, which Landon is a part of, I think. Oh, damn, that's pretty crazy, you know? That's pretty crazy and also pretty weird of Landon to be like, yeah, I'm gonna troll this guy. I'm gonna troll this guy is what I'm gonna do. You know? Lol cow culture is one of those small things that's ruining the internet because you have losers who like look like one of the worst aspects of the internet is that you can't feed the trolls, right? And this is obviously like ancient wisdom, ancient knowledge for the internet. But if somebody was being a bitch, if like the town loser was being an asshole to you back before the internet, you could just kick his ass, and everybody knew. Ah, yeah, the town loser's being an asshole again. Well, you know, can't blame old Bobby, old Bobby Two Hands for beating the hell out of him. You know, he was being an asshole to Bobby Two Hands. What else was he gonna do? But the internet has made it so that there's a lot of people out there who, because they're like loser idiots, loser retards, they get to like pool together and then bully somebody else, whether that person is a loser retard or not, you know? And it's like, man, that shit's fucking stupid. That's annoying, you know? It's weird. It's weird, you know? Um, Ghost Politics is basically a Rush Limbaugh, Alex Jones type guy that had a radio show and has a dedicated trolling community dedicated to. Oh, I literally already read that. Holy shit. Holy shit. I didn't read the Rush Limbaugh, Alex Jones part though, which is why, at least I don't think I did. Maybe I'm going crazy. Over here, but you know, it is what it is. I keep seeing the Alex Jones comparison, but he's more of a Reddit guy. Yeah, I mean, I listened to him speak. He almost kind of sounds like Alex Jones a little bit, just a little bit. I'm not saying it's a resemblance. I'm saying it's like the same genre of guy. It's like me. I sound like I'm from Boston, kind of. Sort of a little bit. I don't have the biggest Boston accent here, but it's enough that you can kind of get the idea if you're not from Boston. If you're from Boston, you think I'm from like South Carolina is where you think I'm from. But like you might hear someone who also has a Boston accent and go, ah, yeah, that's the same type of guy as Scott, even if it doesn't sound like me, you know? Holy fucking shit, dude. Holy fucking shit. Ah, man. Ah, Ghost Politics has managed to remain anonymous for like 20 years, and Landon was going to invite James Drake to help move in, and Ghost reneged on the deal because he thought it was too risky. Ah, I see. You know, when it, like look as somebody who used to have to take OPSEC very seriously. Yeah, OPSEC is like you don't let yourself think that it's going to be okay. You absolutely positively have to assume that everything is going to go wrong and that everybody is going to behave in bad faith. So like I don't even necessarily like 100% blame him if that was the concern. But it's still like, well, what were you doing taking the chance on Landon in the first place? Somebody who apparently was fucking with you anyway, you know? It's like, man, that shit's just like fucking ridiculous. It's dumb as hell. Um, but yeah. Oh, apparently he was doxxed a few years back. Well, well, still, you don't want to, you don't, and that's another thing. It's like, why would you want to bring more attention to it? You know, it's like some dudes are just some dudes just ain't got no sense. Some of these dudes just ain't got no goddamn sense. You know, it's like, holy fuck. Ghost was never giving him work. I see. I could just drink this thing at this point, man. Good OPSEC is not inviting someone like Landon or the fish tank community into your circle. Exactly. Yes, exactly. You know, that's kind of what I was trying to get at. You know, you put it more succinctly. You put it more succinctly than me. Landon trolled him, sure, but at the same time, Landon did do a lot to promote him on season 5. Really? Oh well, you know. Either way, it like look. I don't have anything against Landon per se. I've never met him. I've never talked to him. I probably never will talk to him. I've kind of stepped away from Fish Tank, other than maybe talking about it on here from time to time. It seems like retards trying to fuck with retards, if I'm just being honest with you. Not to even be mean necessarily. But I mean, it seems like guys who are probably not that well adjusted trying to be like, trying to do something stupid. I don't even know what, but you know, it is what it is. Oh man. Oh man. Sorry, I'm just looking around right now. Just looking around right now, trying to see if I missed anything. Trying to see if I missed anything. The idea of the nuclear family sitting around to watch Fish Tank is hilarious. Yeah, like I can only imagine if that dude that I saw at that wrestling meet was sitting here like, hey son, come watch this with me. I have a feeling, because like, even though you would expect teenagers to love the hell out of something like Fish Tank, I would expect teenagers, specifically ones that were put on to Fish Tank by their parents, to be like, why would I want to watch that shit? You know, they'll watch one type of slop, but like Fish Tank is just the kind of slop that they're like, no, that's cringe. No, dude, that sucks. That's cringe. You know. Scott, give Landon work as a karate janitor, dude. I fucking should. You know, we need somebody to clean the fucking mats and shit like that in my place. It's like nobody wants to do it. There's no way I'm doing it. I'm the black belt. Fuck that. I'm the senior. I don't mop the mats. It's the fucking freshman. Hey, freshman, get over here and fucking do this. Season 5.3 had been crazy. Yeah, I didn't pay attention. Are they doing anything right now? Like, I was talking to Arie, and which I've been saying Arie's name wrong for years. He literally never corrected me. I heard him say it for the first time, because speaking of OPSEC, we weren't on a first name basis back when we knew each other. I knew his name. But, and I don't know if he knew mine. He might have, he might not have, but I did know his name, but like, we never would have called him that. And in fact, I still usually won't call him Arie. I'll call him what I used to call him, which was Easy back in the day, you know? Fucking, what was I gonna say? But yeah, I've been saying his name wrong. It's Aria, but I'm still gonna call him Arie. Fuck, what was I? Oh yeah, I was talking to Arie, and I guess they took his streaming key away, and it's like, okay, well, from what I heard, he was the one guy streaming on the site, you know, and it's like, all right, well, what's going on now, you know? I like, is anything going on right now? Is anything going on? I have no clue. Easy, yeah. Ari strikes me to, you know, Arie strikes me as a kind of dude who isn't entirely sure how to say his own name in general. Honestly, yeah. He might get confused. He might get confused from time to time. What's going on, Rusty Corvine? Yo, Scott, when's the last time you went fishing? Half my sparring partners ended up being my fishing buddies. The last time I've been fishing was well over 10 years ago. I want to say it was like 2014, 2015. It was probably around now between like April and June. And I was the only one who caught a fish. And the thing is, I'm not really an outdoorsy kind of guy. I would literally rather walk in a city than go for a hike. I don't know what it is. I like nature. It's nice. I'm just not someone who wants to spend like 6 hours out in the wilderness doing nothing, just fucking going for a walk. I don't know why that is, but we got there and a couple hours in, it was like 2 to 3 hours in, I was getting bored and I was like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I just kind of want to fucking go do something else now. And my friend was so pissed at me. It was me and two other dudes. The friend of mine that wanted to fish was like, dude, fucking, we just got here. He's like bitching and moaning at me. And then I caught the only fish of the day. And that was the first fish that I had ever caught in my entire life. That was funny to me. And then later on, we got chased by dogs that were involved in an illegal dog fighting ring. I remember this. And basically we're walking around, right? This is in Raynham, Massachusetts, right? Raynham, Massachusetts. And I think if you Google Raynham, Massachusetts dog fighting ring, you might actually be able to find the article about this. But we're walking around, right? And because none of us had cars at this time. We're in our like early 20s and not a single one of us had cars, our fucking bum asses. But we're literally just walking around Raynham, and we're walking through this wooded area that my friend used to hang out at because he spent a lot of time in this area, like hanging out. And we see this one dog. It's like running towards us in the middle of the woods, and we're like, oh shit, okay. My friend was an Army Ranger. I'm Mr. MMA guy, and then the third guy, he's just another body. You know, it's better to have more guys. So like my buddy who is a ranger, he pulls out his knife that he always carries with him because, you know, he's an ex-military guy. He's always got to be armed and all that other fucking bullshit. The other dude picks up a fucking rock, like a big ass rock. And then I'm sitting here and I'm like, honestly, I'm probably better off with just my hands. So we're waiting for this dog, which is a big ass pit bull, by the way, to come at us. And my fucking buddy, Mr. Ex-military Army Ranger, been to Afghanistan 3 times, fucking killed multiple people. He's like, fuck this. He turns and he dips. And then, of course, the other dude with the rock, he turns and dips next. And the thing is, I didn't hear anything. They didn't say anything. Or if they did, I just straight didn't hear it. I just saw something shift over on this side. And I was like, huh, what the fuck is that? And I see them hightailing the fuck out of there. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, I guess we're going. Now, my fat ass, I had a Swiss roll, right? I had a Swiss roll in my pocket. It fell out. I fucking bend down, pick the fucking thing up like the fat shit that I am. And I start following them as I run. Now, we run up this hill, and as we get up the hill, all of a sudden there's another fucking dog that like is just right there. It's just fucking like right there. It ran up on us and it stopped. I think we startled it just as much as it startled us. We were originally going to go this way. We're like, fuck, guess we're going that way. And then as we go that way, a third pit bull comes running from the same direction as the second dog that we saw. We're dipping through the fucking woods and we get to this little league field, right? And we hop the fence, and the fence is about like half of my height. I'm 6 feet tall. It's about 3 feet tall. I didn't even put a hand on the fence to jump over. The adrenaline was pumping so much. I vaulted that thing like we were doing hurdles, you know? And we all get over fine, and we turn around and we see the dogs, and oh, excuse me, they sit there for a second and then they walk back to where they were at. We saw that and we were like, whoa, what the fuck was that shit? That was crazy. Let's go do it again. So we went back and we fucked with them a little bit more. And then we ran back to the whatever it's called, the baseball field. We hopped the fence again, And then at that point we were like, okay, let's not tempt fate a third time here. Let's just get out of here. The thing is, we collect some of the shit from where we were at, and we have to cross this bridge. Well, guess who's sitting there? It's the dogs. It's the fucking dogs. And we're just sitting there. We're like, what do we even do? They're not going to let us across. Some guy on a bike rides by. They let him cross. They literally did. They didn't even fucking so much as look at that guy on the bike. And we were just like, yeah, those things do not like us. So we ended up just saying, fuck it. We went the other way and we got picked up, you know? Man, I fucking hate situations like this. I really don't want to harm someone's dog, even if it is a little shite. Oh, yeah, like I would never want to harm a dog, but also fuck your dog, you know? I value my life more. And we would have killed that thing. Like a big ass knife. I'm talking like the types of knives that like a 14-year-old looks at and they're like, "Whoa, dude. Yo, like we're talking this dude used to carry shits like that big, and then my other buddy had a rock, you know, and then fucking me, like I was like, given that they had weapons, I was probably the least deadly out of all three of us, but at least I know how to use my hands, you know. Um, like that dog would have fucking died if my friend didn't turn and run, you know. Um, but yeah, that was crazy. I want to see if we can. I want to see if I can find that. Ooh, from 2026. Interesting. There is one from 2026 apparently. Huh. Well, there was a Massachusetts dogfighting ring. I'm trying to dude, let me see if I can find one. Because there's a new situation where a guy was like, you know, he was like breeding fighting dogs or something like that, and he got arrested a month ago. So, um, uh, yeah, I'm not seeing it because fucking all of them are from 2026. And I forget exactly what year that was. It was either like 2014 or 2015, and I forget. Yeah, I'll do one more. I'm in the Nether realm right now. I'm on page 3 of Google. I'm on page 3 of Google. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Yeah, nah, fucking that's annoying. That's fucking annoying. Whatever. Axes are so weird. The better the knife, the more you pay. But with axes, top of the range things can be some of the cheapest. Yeah, axes are weird. Um, it's 2 a.m. and I live in a now fairly densely populated area. So imagine my ass strolling through the pretty much city with an axe on my side. I love the outdoors, but it's so much effort. Um, oh yeah, you know. Jimmy doing a show with Mizzy, and he will definitely hit on her, and it won't end well. I think it's going to end great. I think it's going to end great. I think it's going to end as good as it needs to, you know? Oh, man. You want me to eat your shit? I'll eat your shit right on Mizzy's front lawn. Man, that was, I've never watched, excuse me. I've never watched The Boys. I've never been interested in it. I always kind of saw it as slop, you know, as goy slop is what it was always supposed to be. But apparently, a lot of people did enjoy it. But the end of that I saw going around, right, where the dude is begging, like offering homosexual intercourse and shit eating in exchange for his life. That's something that I have a visceral reaction to, and I think you should too. And if you don't, it makes me wonder about you, if I'm being honest here. I've talked a little bit about my days in activism. I talked about how nasty some of those events could get. You have people making literal IEDs out of fireworks and glass and nails and other things like that that they're throwing at us. If I was in a situation, right, where in a video game or it just look, this is all hypothetical. This would never actually happen. I would never actually do anything like this, okay? We don't even have to do the in a video game thing. I'm just saying, like, hypothetically, this would never happen. I would never do this, but hypothetically, if one of the leftists who tried to hit me and my friends with shit like that, who threw like soup cans or full cans of soda, or they tried to hit us with brass knuckles, just people like that, people who tried to like ruin our lives in so many different ways. If there was a situation where I absolutely positively had to kill them in self-defense, I would, like, it would be quick. I wouldn't sit here and like try to get them to be like, "Oh, please don't do it. Don't do it. Please, please." I wouldn't want them to beg. I wouldn't want them to plead. I wouldn't want them to offer to suck my dick or eat my shit or anything like that. I wouldn't want them crying in front of me like that. For one thing, it wouldn't be self-defense in that case if I did something like that. But again, it's all a hypothetical, right? If there was a situation where like I had a gun to their head and it was that time, like that, like, I wouldn't more less. There is a certain lack of something human in somebody who wants people who they find to be their enemies to be quaking and crying and bargaining before them. There is something inhumane about that person, and that to me is disgusting. If you took the worst person you could think of and put them in front of me and said, "Hey, you're the executioner," I wouldn't want to draw it out. I wouldn't want it to drag out. I couldn't sit there and be like, "Now beg." I could not do that. It would, just the thought of that makes me so uncomfortable. But that's because I'm a human with a soul. I am an ensouled human. I do not have Satan in place of of a soul. There's a lot of satanic people out there who are just that kind of shitty, that if you even so much as like mildly inconvenience them, they're thinking about like, and then I'd take a baseball bat to his knees, and then I'd take it to his elbows, and then I'd say, "You're gonna die. Any last words?" And then I'd listen to him beg and say, "Please, please don't do it. I'll suck your dick." And then I'd hit him in the head, but I wouldn't kill him right away, because what I want to do is hit him in the shins some more and hear him scream and cry, like somebody who talks like that, somebody who thinks like that under any circumstances ever, whether it's real or if it's imagined or if it's something that's playing out in front of you on a screen, they are not a human being. They are something less. They are subhuman, and they do not deserve the same rights that someone like you and I deserve. We are better than them. We deserve to be able to rule over these people, if we're just being honest here. You guys know I don't like democracy, right? But somebody who sees that and chuckles, somebody who sees that and goes, "Yeah, go good guys. Go good guys. Yeah." Somebody who does that. Is YouTube good? Is YouTube good? Oh, if excuse me. If like, if you're the kind of person who gets excited for that shit, you should not have the same rights as me. You should not have the same rights as somebody else, you know? and it's just such a disgusting thing, and it filters, like that thing was a filter sort of thing, where it's like you almost it almost tells you, like you're almost, it's a mask off kind of thing. It's like like mask off, like I am an absolute piece of shit. I can watch something like that go down and I can be like, yeah, get him. I don't like that guy. It's gross. It's disgusting, you know? It's like the same thing goes, and this is like, it wouldn't surprise me if you start seeing this more in everything, but it really started out with the indie horror, like blood and guts. Blood and guts. I like blood and guts. I want to see intestines. Okay, okay. We're making an indie horror film. What's going to happen is you're going to stab him in the stomach, and we're going to show you reaching into the stomach, and you're going to pull out the intestines, and you're going to jump rope with them, because we're going to get that gleeful death kind of thing going, but it's going to be like super hyper realistic. It's going to look like super duper real is what's going to happen. And you, the victim, you have to scream as real as you can. Here. You see this cartel beheading video? You hear that sound the person made? I want you to make that same kind of sound, and it's going to be so awesome. Like, that's where it started, was that like grindhouse kind of like blood and guts horror shit, you know? I dated a girl, I wouldn't say briefly, it was for almost a year. I dated a girl, and actually Aria knows who I'm talking about here. So somebody clip this and show Aria. Somebody clip this and show Aria. She was cute, you know, and I didn't hate her personality, but she was just tapped in so many different ways. And one of those ways was like that she used to watch Terrifier, and she's telling me about Terrifier. She's like, "Oh, when you come over today, we got to watch Terrifier. It's such a good movie. They saw a woman in half. You get to see a woman get sawed in half, lengthwise. Lengthwise. It's so crazy. She gets tied upside down." It's like, dude, fucking shut get the fuck out of my face. What is your problem? What is your deal? You know? It's like, holy fuck. Gleeful, ensnared souls. Yes, exactly. You know, Art the clown ass silly billies. Exactly. You know, Art the clown ass silly billies is a great way to put it. Oh shit. Um, Thank you very much, Juan Guzman, for the $5. I forgot to have this in, so I didn't hear the thing, but I did happen to notice it. Respectively, it's hard to gauge how people react up until the moment arises, despite what people, kind of like cannibalism if stuck on an island. Well, and you see, that's the thing, is like, you can understand certain moves. I could understand cannibalism if you're stuck on an island, right? But to go to the grocery store and see all of this food around and be like, no, I want human meat, the sweetest meat of all. Like, that's something different. And when you're talking about grindhouse horror, when you're talking about what we saw from that The Boys finale, that was not a situation where it was necessary. Oh, excuse me. There was no necessary evil taking place there. It wasn't like oh, like as the dude was getting murdered, he was like, "No, please stop. No, please, no, please, ah." It's not like it was happening right then and there. There was like a lapse in the fighting, and the guy was like, "Okay, like fuck, I give up. You got me beat. Please don't kill me." And the other dude, it's funny, he reacts disgusted, and I'm not the only person to point this out, but it's funny how these leftists, they want you to respect gays, but they also use gay sex as like the ultimate, like, ew, this person's disgusting, they suck dick kind of thing. It's funny how that works. But the guy reacts like, the fuck, like that's how he reacts. um you have a duty in a situation like that to make it as quick and as painless as possible. You have a duty to not draw things out longer than they need to be, and you have a duty to give somebody as respectable of a death as you can. And that includes not sitting there when you have completely and totally got the upper hand. You have won. You are winning. And this guy, not only is he losing, but he's given up. He's like, all right, okay, I give up. I give up. Please don't kill me, right? Like, you have a responsibility to make sure that you're not gonna wound your own soul in doing something like that. And look, we're talking about like a made up thing. It's a TV show about superheroes, right? But somebody somewhere had to write that down on paper. They had to have that thought and think, yes, this is a good idea. And they had to write that down, and they had to bring it to other people, a whole room full of people, and read that out. And everyone else had to go, that's a good idea. And it made it through all the filters, all the everything before it ended up on screen, which means that one guy is perverse in that way. And at best, all the filters, the writer's room, the producer, the director, the everybody, the everything is an enabler of that kind of behavior. At best, there's a good chance that they are just as sick and disgusting as the writer. I think his name was like Eric Kripke or some shit like that. That is a disgusting subhuman. He's a Dalit. He is cattle. He is a goy. He's a fucking He's a Gentile. He's a Gentile, is what he is. He's a goy. And he does not deserve the same rights as someone like you and me. People like that don't deserve to be able to have a say in which way things are going, the same way that you and I do. It's gross. You're gonna play out your this is what I would do to Trump. This is what I would do to MAGA. MAGA people. Yeah. Your next door neighbor who's like a liberal watched that, and they superimposed your face onto his name's Homelander, right? His name's Homelander, the superhero that was being killed. They superimposed your face onto Homelander's face, and they went, yeah, get him. Fucking get that asshole Cavalog. Yeah, get him. Yeah, that's right, Zach. Beg to suck his dick. Fucking, yeah, eat his shit, Scott. Ask to eat his shit. I want to see you do it. Like, that's what, like, so many fucking people, that's what about half of the United States was doing when they were watching that. They were thinking of somebody who they know who is like slightly conservative leaning, and they were thinking like, oh, I would love to do that to this guy. I would love to hear him say that. And it's like, yo, get out of, don't just get out of my face, get out of my town, get out of my state, get out of my country, get out of my world. We'll fucking round you up, put you in a spaceship, and blast you off into the sun. That's what we ought to do. We don't need people like that around. We don't need them. We don't want them. Lucy X. Berry. Did you see the statement Kripke said about how strong men, when their power is taken away, are weak and would act like that? He clearly never heard of the Catholic martyrs. Dude, so many people, like so many people throughout history, like fear of death is a new thing. And I'm not saying that nobody ever feared death before, right? But like, I feel like fear of death and like the inability to accept that it's going to happen one day is a very new thing. Like, it may have started with the boomers or maybe even the silent generation, right? And you always, no matter what, had people who were like, oh no, I don't want to die, let's see if I can beat the clock, right? But societally we have this thing where and I think it probably has something to do with the removal of religion. I would guess that's what it is. But societally we have this thing where like people think the worst fate is death. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it's like I don't want to die. I'd rather not die, but it's going to have to happen. So I try my best to accept that it's going to happen. Um but like people think the worst fate is death, and it's like no, the worst fate is being remembered as a coward, because you're going to die no matter what. At the very least you could be remembered as someone who faced it, who said, all right, if it's that time, it's that time, let's do it. you know you want to be remembered as somebody who does that. You don't want to be remembered as the guy who said, I'll eat your shit on Scott Sullivan MMA's front lawn. you know um there are other fates that are worse than death, you know? And obviously it's a little bit subjective, but to those people who, to them, they just like, they're materialists is what it is. They're materialists. And I feel like societally we have more materialists than we used to. And because of that, you have these people who couldn't fathom the idea of a dignified death. They couldn't fathom the idea of, oh, the Reaper showed up, he just called my name. All right, I guess I got to go with him. They cannot fathom that. They to them it is a completely and totally foreign concept, and they assume that everybody else is like them. So the idea that someone might go, well, if it's my time, it's my time, you know, to them that's like impossible. It couldn't have happened. There was a story from the Easter Rising in Ireland. I don't know who it was, because I heard this a long time ago, but I guess when the Rising failed, because it was always going to fail, right? That was like, it was a bad plan. It was a bad plan. But when the Easter Rising failed, everybody surrendered. And one of the leaders of the Rising turned to his men and said, "Don't be afraid, men. They'll let you go. They're only going to shoot me." He was like, "Don't be afraid, men. They'll shoot me and they'll let you go." Like, this is somebody who knew, like, I'm going to die now. It's going to happen. My men aren't going to die. They'll let my men go, even if it's just to prison. They're not going to execute my men, but they're going to execute me. And that to me was like, oh, whoa, that's the kind of leader that I want to be, is the kind of leader who can, when he knows like, oh, my time is about to be up, I probably have another month or two until I get shot. If they don't just summarily execute me right now, I want to be able to turn back to my men and be like, it's all right, guys, you're going to be fine. You guys will be fine. Me, maybe not, but you will be all right. So, hey, chins up, men. It's going to be okay. History is filled with strong men of a bunch of different persuasions and beliefs and everything like that, who, when faced with death, they were like, all right, well, let's get it over with then. Let's do it. And somebody like that Kripke guy, as a weak man, he can't stand the idea that that is true, or he just straight up doesn't believe it's true. He doesn't trust it. So he makes the assumption that, oh, well, um, strong men, when they're stripped of their power, it's like, get the fuck out of here. Amor fati, exactly. Did you see Ireland had its own George Floyd incident? Really? Oh boy. Was it like George Floyd, like some black dude died and now the like 20 black people in Ireland are rioting? Or is it George Floyd like a white Irish person died and now the Irish are rioting? Because honestly, when it comes to Ireland, either one of those is a possibility. Do you own a Switch too? Nah, I've never owned a Switch. I've owned one Nintendo console in my entire life, and that was a Wii. Other than that, I'm not really a Nintendo guy. Oh, no, I never owned a GameCube, actually. I used to just play GameCube games on the Wii. You should check out the documentary 2,000 Meters to Andrivka. It's all POV footage of guys in Ukraine. It's crazy how noble and strong they are about death. Oh yeah, I'm fucking sure. I don't know if I even want to watch something like that, because I don't know that I want to see all that death. But I might look that up. We'll see about that. Yeah. You know, the last thing, and I forget who said it. I forget who said it. Was it Juan Guzman? Yes, I believe it was Juan Guzman. Um, I believe it. Yes. Actually, there it is. Juan Guzman said, respectively, it's hard to gauge. Well, he said something about like it's hard to tell how you're gonna react in a situation like that until you're there. So it's like I don't want to sit here and be like, when it happens with me, I'm gonna be dignified. I hope I am, and I'm gonna try my best to be. But we'll see what happens, and I don't want to be remembered as the guy who started fucking crying like a pussy. I don't want to be remembered as that guy. That would be terrible. That would be awful. Juan said something else too, about Terrifier. He basically asked how Terrifier got the mass appeal that it did, and Terrifier became popular because Terrifier became popular because it was Reddit. It was extremely Reddit in a very Reddit time in America. It came out in, I believe, 2016, maybe 2017. That was like peak Reddit America. From like 2016 to 2020, that was peak Redditor America. So you have one grindhouse horror movie. It's a slasher film, right? Two, you have a clown, right? And three, you have gleeful death, and they all kind of play into each other, right? You have the gleeful clown murdering people in the most grotesque and violent ways that you can think of. Of course, every Redditor was going to be like, "Whoa, dude, sick. Whoa, that's crazy. Dude, he sawed that woman in half at the pussy. Whoa, dude, whoa. Hey, have you seen Terrifier? Oh, you haven't? I guess I'm just more hardcore than you, bro." And again, it's goyim shit. They're a bunch of goys. They're a bunch of goys. They don't do, like, I mean that too. Like, I'm not just saying that because I'm like trying to be shocking about my political beliefs. Like, people like that do not deserve the rights that a true person has. They need to be kept down. That's part of our problem, is that we allow too many unensouled individuals to make decisions, whether it's on the micro or the macro scale, It's also corny and bad writing, the kind where you just hear the Twitter addict writer speaking instead of the character. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, E9000, but you're probably right about whatever it is you're talking about. I don't know if it's Terrifier or if you're talking about The Boys or what it is, I own an orange GameCube, and I'm not afraid to say I teabagged it. Damn, that's pretty crazy. I didn't know they made an orange GameCube. You know what I miss? This is the millennial unk in me speaking. I miss the translucent colored Mac and other stuff. Like in the late 90s to early 2000s, they had the different colored stuff that was translucent, so you could see into the hardware. That was mad itchy. That was really cool. Everybody loved the hell out of those things. Everybody would want to. You'd go to they had them at my elementary school when I was in like the second grade, and we were like so excited to go to computer lab anytime we had computer lab, because we'd all try to sit in our favorite color. Those things are mad cool. To this day, I kind of like rainbow stuff. I like rainbow stuff. I like rainbow stuff. No, but like seeing different colors of shit, like I just like it. It's nice. It's cool. There's something about it. There's something about it. Movies like Terrifier reminded me of the trauma gore movies that just play off of melting faces, etc. So watching Terrifier grow felt pretentious. Oh yes, they had those in prisons as well. I bet they did. Unfortunately, transparent technology is only for prisons now, and that is unfortunate. I don't know about new movies, but I like those older gangster types like Goodfellas. Oh yeah, Goodfellas was good. Casino, right? We're talking about really gruesome deaths the baseball bat scene in Casino in the cornfield with Joe Pesci and the fucking like whoever was playing his, like, it was supposed to be his brother or his cousin or something like that. Like, seeing that was like a whoa kind of thing, you know? And that is a little bit more, I guess you could say, acceptable, because it was meant to be brutal as like a like it was specifically meant to be a shocking thing. You watch something like Terrifier and the shock value is meant to be entertaining, where it's like, oh dude, he totally just fucking sawed that woman in half. Whoa, that's so cool. That's how you're supposed to react to Terrifier. That's the kind of person who made Terrifier, right? And that's the kind of person who consumes Terrifier. Same thing with The Boys, right? The kind of person who made that scene in The Boys is it's gratuitous. It's masturbatory. You know, there's a masturbatory nature to it. That scene in Casino, it was grotesque, it was uncomfortable, but that's because it was meant to be. It was meant to tell you, like, hey, this is the reality of that life that these guys were living. That type of shit did and could happen sometimes. It really was gross. It wasn't meant to be a, whoa, dude, that's so cool. They just beat that guy to death with a baseball bat. Oh, he wasn't even dead? Oh, dude, they beat him and then they buried him alive? Whoa, dude, that's so cool. That's not what it was meant to be, you know? So it's like you have situations where you can find, even though it's like uncomfortable and it's gross, and it doesn't feel right to watch something like that, you can at least be like, okay, this fits a little bit. This does kind of fit just a little bit, you know? But like with something like The Boys, with something like Terrifier, it's like this doesn't fit, man. This doesn't fit, you know? One sec, I gotta text the wife. Anywho, some war movies are way scarier than some horror movies. I've never seen a war movie that's been that scary. You know, if you want to recommend me one, you know, I might just watch that. Any Prison Tech stuff looks amazing. I loved the see-through cases. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, just looking around right now, seeing some shit. It's also, oh, I already read that one, from E9000. I want to see an edit of Homelander I want to see an edit of the Homelander scene with Scott as Billy and Scribb from Bitch Tank as Homelander. Oh man, that'd be funny. That'd be funny. Hearing that in Scripp's name, in Scripp's voice would be funny. Oh, okay, all right, okay. Cavalog saying security. He struggled like crazy and fought back against 8 of them. They had to go hard to restrain him. He was so psychotic, died in the process. Now the Congolese community, led by the far left Irish, are demanding more hate speech laws, more freedom for criminals, more hate against white Irish people, etc. Yeah. You know, it really does suck to see what's happening with Ireland, because you guys are such a small nation that like you can go to places in America where you can kind of avoid some of the bullshit, but I feel like there's probably nowhere in Ireland that you can really avoid it completely and totally, you know? You're always going to have some asshole from the nearest city who like grew up in whatever town or village you're a part of, who they go back there a few weeks per year, and every time they're back there they're like, we're going to be starting a commune. Hey, that migrant hotel, leave it alone, okay? They're poor and they need our help, and you need to let them into your nation. I don't care that they're gonna rape your daughters. In fact, good. I'm glad they will. I want you to beg to suck their dick and eat their shit is what I want. Like, That must be the worst thing. And you guys like we all have the opportunity to stop and reverse the things that are happening in our nations. A big issue that a lot of people have is that they want a solution that is going to happen tomorrow. They want everything to change tomorrow is what they want. That's not the way it's going to work. To get to the situation we were in now, they had to work for not just decades, but multiple generations, talking about the left wing, to be able to get to the point that we're at now, where they own the institutions and they fuck with people the way they are. It's starting to be undone, but the reality is it's not going to be undone tomorrow. Chances are we're going to have to plant a tree knowing that we will never actually be able to sit under the shade and eat the fruit of that tree. It's going to have to be for our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, etc., etc., and we're going to have to hand the torch on to our children, who will then essentially do the same thing. They may never get to enjoy the fruits of their labor. It may be a future generation after them who get to enjoy those fruits, but the bottom line is we're moving the needle closer and closer to the kind of world that we want to exist, the kind of world where the good guys win, the bad guys lose, you know? And the reason I explain this is because that's the truth in America, and that's the truth in a lot of different places, including places in Europe. But if there was one place where I could see you guys fixing things in the next 5 years or less, it would be Ireland, because you guys are actually smaller, right? There's kind of a flip side to that problem that I was talking about with the Liberals, where the Conservatives are a lot more close-knit, I would assume, anyway. Tell me if I'm wrong, Cavalog. But then in addition to that, you guys don't have as many people you have to fucking contend with. And you guys are a lot more energized. You know, you guys are a lot more energized. The demonstrations you do, the fiery but mostly peaceful protests you guys do they work better for you guys. If we did fiery, mostly peaceful protests over here, it wouldn't work that well. It wouldn't work that well, you know? It only works well when a fucking black dude dies and the left does it, you know? But you guys could really do something over there, you know? You guys could really do something over there. Oh, excuse me. Let me scroll back down a little bit. I don't know if you spoke about it, but the guy in the UK who got stabbed by a brown guy and was bleeding out, but the stabber said he said racist word, and they handcuffed Buddy till he bled out and died. Yeah, I saw that, you know. I try to be very careful because, like, I've been giving into politics for a long time now. I started doing that because it was the easiest thing other than MMA for me to talk about constantly. I was trying to see if I could force a payout because I got one payout from Twitter almost a year ago when I had that viral tweet. I have not received a cent from them since, even though I know I have hit the fucking threshold, but they're just going to pretend like it hasn't happened. I wanted to see if tweeting more might put me over that threshold. It hasn't worked so far. And because of that, I started talking more about politics, even though I didn't want to be a politics guy in the first place. But I try to be careful. I try to be careful talking about that stuff, is what I'm saying. And when it comes down to it, you are responsible for your own safety. The police are not going to help you. And this is true in America as well. The cops won't help you. The cops don't give a fuck about you. It doesn't fucking matter to them. You know, they only care about themselves. Fucking, you are responsible for your own safety. It's unfortunate what happened to that kid. And I don't know all the details of what exactly happened and how. What I do, holy fucking shit, dude. I can't stand when people send like 4 messages back to back to back in rapid succession. That's one of my biggest fucking pet peeves. You know, I hate it so much. But anyway, your safety is your own responsibility. Nobody is going to come to help you. You can't even guarantee that somebody who is seeing something go down is going to go out of their way to help you. They might look at you and go, none of my business. Oh, that's none of my business. No, sir. They'll probably end up doing that. You have to be extremely careful to, one, avoid sketchy people, and then two, you have to fight for your fucking life. You need to know how to fight a little bit. You don't have to take it to the level that I take it to, okay? But you need to have a little bit of something in your back pocket. If you can carry a force multiplier legally and you can use it legally, carry a force multiplier and learn how to fight. And learn how to fight. It's not just good enough to have some fucking pepper spray and be like, it's okay, I'm good. Even a gun. So many things can go wrong with guns. Even if you shoot somebody, there's no guarantee you're going to fucking kill them. You know? What happens when you run out of bullets and they close the distance? Happens all the fucking time. Watch some police video. Watch some police body cam video of people charging at them with knives. You'd be surprised how many bullets these people can take, you know? But like, the bottom line of what I'm trying to say is be prepared. You have to be prepared. Okay. And you have to be willing to fight like your life depends on it, because it does. Your life depends on it, you know? Hey, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Pay the dude his dues. What would be your last meal? Pepperoni pizza of some kind. And then either ice cream or cookies. One of the two. Or, I mean, fuck, if it's my last meal and it's one of those situations where you're just allowed to, like, have as much as you want, I'd be like, pepperoni pizza, give me a couple of McDoubles from McDonald's, give me a chocolate shake from McDonald's, I want Ben and Jerry's, and I want cookies. Give me some cookies, you know? That's what I'd do. People are ready to absolutely snap. The average person is aware of what's coming and it's accepted. It feels like we're in our last days of civility. We're enjoying what's left whole we can. You see, the thing is, like, Ireland is a land of conflict, you know? Oh, excuse me. You guys are no stranger to it within the last almost 100 years. You know, it's been what, like 110 years since the Easter Rising, and then that wasn't even like the official. Was the Easter Rising like the official kickoff of the rebellion, or was it the Easter Rising and then like a couple years passed? I forget the exact timeline. What I'm trying to say is, like, you guys can have those kinds of situations occur and then come back from it a little bit easier than America can, you know? Oh, excuse me. You're a smaller group of people. You're more tight knit. Your economy is a little bit smaller. You know, it's like, if this is the ground, would you rather fall from here or would you rather fall from here? You'd rather fall from here, right? I feel like, and I'm not saying it's going to be good or easy. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. When I think of Ireland, I'm kind of bullish about how they're going to do over the next 10 years, even if there is some kind of collapse scenario that you guys go through. I think you guys are going to be okay for the most part. You know, America, maybe not. You see, here's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that when the Bronze Age collapse occurred, when Rome collapsed, life for a lot of people actually significantly improved because they didn't have the Roman state looming over them. You can talk about all the good aspects of Rome, about, you know, security and you know, the Pax Romanum and all this other stuff, right? The culture, this, that, the other thing. You can talk about all that stuff, but there were aspects of Roman rule that were not exactly that great. And one of the things that happens with people who are not directly plugged into the system, or if not the system, then like a metropolitan area, is life kind of gets a little bit easier for them because they don't have to pay taxes to some asshole in a suit in the middle of a city. You know? And am I saying that like a collapse is going to be a good thing? No, not necessarily. But if you're the right kind of person with the right kind of sensibilities, it may not be as bad for you as you might anticipate. You may not expect, it may not be as bad as you would expect, you know? It's like the Great Depression. Like, everybody suffered during the Depression, but for one thing, only 1/5 of the country was out of work or underemployed, which, like, I'm sure it was more than 1/5 that was underemployed. 1/5 unemployment is fucking gargantuan, but also there's another 80% of the nation that was still getting money in some form. Um, so it's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say, right? And I'm probably not doing the greatest job of it. It's not going to be as bad as you think it would be. It's not going to be good, but you might find that you have a way, you might find a path that you can take so that it's not going to be as shitty as you might expect. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at, you know? Obviously, I would never hope for any kind of economic collapse or civil war or anything like that. But um, you know, if you do it right, it may you may find it's easier to get by than you originally anticipated. You know, one of the things that I was going to be talking about before I started going off on the 1/5 unemployment thing during the Great Depression was that people who lived rurally actually did a little bit better than people who lived in cities. Oh, excuse me, because they didn't have to worry about where meat was going to come from. Oh, geez. They'd they'd take their rifle and they'd go and they'd kill a deer. They'd kill a boar. They'd literally hunt for their food, and they would have meat no problem. You know, um, it's sorry, I gotta eat the shit. Um, you know, it's I guess there's no real way to tell how good or bad anyone's gonna do. And we focus on and we hear mostly about the people who were like abject poverty, like living in Hoovervilles and things like that. Um, Literal shantytown living type people. But there was a lot of people back then who were not doing that bad. I'm talking about like Hooverville bad, you know? At most, we're a generation removed from war. Oh yeah, there's I don't know what's going on over in the Middle East right now. I do know that Ukraine has slowed down quite a bit. Um, but like, yeah, it would not surprise me to find that Ukraine was the start of World War III. And then Israel, you know, jumping all over Hamas, or Palestine, or whoever you want to say they're jumping all over. That would definitely be an aspect that is kind of similar to. It's kind of when Germany invaded Poland and then Japan invaded China, right? Like those are two independent military operations that would end up being linked by the fact that they kicked off World War II, right? It would not surprise me to find that that was the situation there, you know, because the battle lines were pretty much drawn. Oh, excuse me. My fucking ass is hurting from just fucking sitting in this chair. I need a new chair with better I need a new chair with better filling, with better filling, you know. Ever considered voicing an audiobook? Somebody asked me if I could voice an audiobook for them, and I have not gotten around to that yet. They said it was like 100 pages. I don't know I forget exactly what kind of audio. And in fact, you know what? You know what? Let's see here. I'm gonna start reading this dude's audiobook real quick. Um he sent me George Orwell's Animal Farm. I don't know why he sent me George Orwell's Animal Farm, but he also sent me a thing called The Gym 2026 draft. We're gonna read that a little bit. I hate how you have to pay for fucking everything. You like it's so annoying. Why is it not? Yes. Do I not have Adobe Acrobat anymore? Do I need to like download a fucking DocX reader thing? Open with. That shit's ridiculous. Your opinion on the UFO phenomenon, be yes or true? I mean, it's kind of the popular opinion to have today, but I do believe that a lot of UFOs, if not all UFOs, are probably demons. It makes sense. It makes sense. You know, why is it that we can look at anything paranormal and be like, ooh, spooky ghosties, ooh, but the second we try and put it in a Christian context, it's like, that's not real. That doesn't exist. Like even scientists are open to certain ideas so long as you don't put them in a Christian context. You know, people are saying that our universe is intelligently designed, and it's like, yeah, it was designed by God. Yeah. And as soon as you say that to them, they're like, no, actually, God doesn't exist. And it's like, oh, really? So there was an intelligent designer, but he's not God. He's not a God. He's not our God. He didn't create us or anything. No, sir. It's like, holy fuck, man. Yeah, I don't know what the deal with this fucking thing is. It's not opening up. I'll see if I can pull it up on my phone. Military programs, maybe. Yeah, I mean that's obviously a that's obviously a possibility. You know, the thing is, like, while I do believe there's a lot of things that could be and probably are military programs, I think that's a convenient excuse to lean on when something crazy happened and you don't have an explanation for it, you know? All right. So, this is The Gym, a Fairy Tale by E.B. Thomas. Copyright 2022. Chapter 1. The viral video you would probably recognize, the full version that is, begins with Joby Rojogan trying his gym shoes, Jordan 11s, the patent leather ones, custom made with his podcast logo. He had just had the designer and Instagram influencer with 9 million followers on an episode. His camera phone lingers on the shoes for just a second before Joby grabs it and stands up, swinging the phone upwards to a camera out live stream position for his walk through the gym. See, I would have to read this and then like read it again. You know, I'd have to read the chapter and then, because, you know, if I can't anticipate, it's not gonna be very well. You know, that's why I keep fucking up. Seconds before, a notification had gone out to his 15 million Instagram followers that he was about to max out his squat reps on live stream, and already a few hundred fans were in the chat. This in itself was nothing particularly unusual. Joby was, after all, a popular fitness influencer, but it did share a certain political vibe that had crept into all of Joby's content recently. And choosing today to max out the barbell back squats just the day after 24/7 Fitness had caved to the government mandate to limit the number of squat racks to 4, well, there was no way to argue that it wasn't political. Joby was doing squats in open defiance of a corrupt city hall that was trying to ban leg day altogether. I'm already kind of liking this a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. That kind of humor is a little bit right up my alley. I'm not sure if I'm really gonna have the time to do it, but I would like to try. You know, it would be good. 79 pages apparently. You know, that's not terrible. You know, I'd have to make it a project is the issue. Aryeh is obsessed with Orwell, but I can't get him to read his best work, Politics in the English Language. I've never read that one. Sent you a few photos on Instagram of my grand uncle. You may find interesting, Irish history related. No pressure to check them out. Don't worry. Oh yeah, I'll check them out in a little while. Thank you, Cavalog. I think if Landon took the job, he would have become the Darth Vader to Ghost Politics Emperor Palpatine. That'd be so fucking funny. That'd be so hilarious if that happened. You have a good voice for sure. I definitely do. You know, like. The only thing my voice is good for is narration. That's it. I could be a good orator, but I am not good at speaking off the cuff. I can be. in a situation like this, let's say. But that's because I have a captive audience. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's people. I'm not a misanthrope or anything like that, but most people simply do not have the patience or the um inability to think only of themselves that is required to listen to an entire thought and consider it, right? It's always you get 50%, maybe 75% through a sentence, and somebody has to cut you off and say something that throws you off your game type shit, you know? And that's one of the reasons why I don't really do well on something like PKA. I'm getting better with it. But I do a lot more of the I do a lot more of that than I even do here, which I know I still do it here, but I don't do it as much. But on PKA, I do it a lot more, you know? And I'm not saying those guys are dickheads or anything like that. What it is that I'm trying to make sure I'm understood for exactly what I'm trying to say so that nobody can hit me, whether it's one of the guys or if it's somebody in the comment section with a, well, what about this? I absolutely like hate when shit like that happens, when I'm misunderstood. And because of that, someone asks a question that is like not really relevant. So I put a little bit too much thought and effort into trying to make sure that there's no holes, there's no cracks, there's no ways to get in on that level. And because of that, sometimes I find myself stumbling over what I'm trying to say or just unable to get some words out and things like that. It's annoying. It sucks. But like the only thing that my voice is really good for is narration, because other than that, like I think, look, the way that I'm speaking right now, I hear intonation, I hear fluctuations in volume, I hear stress on certain words, certain vowels, certain things like that. I hear intonation, but I know if I listen to this back, there's a very good chance it's going to sound like this. This is the way it's going to sound. It's going to sound as though I am bored, or I'm speaking the way Ben Stein used to speak. That guy, the Bueller guy. And it's like, fuck, man, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about it. I gotta be honest with you. I try, you know, it's, I have a problem, you know. My problem is that I became the kind of person who talks like this, and it's extremely hard to be in your 30s to break out of that. It's extremely hard to like do a 180 and break out of that. The reason I became someone who talks like this is because I was beaten and abused, not literally beaten, proverbially beaten and abused by everybody in my life all the fucking time for the first 18 to 19 years of my life. No matter what I did, it was wrong. If I ever showed happiness, there was somebody who was ready to try and crush it, to try and take it away. Oh, excuse me. So I got used to having to hide the way that I feel. Most of the time, I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling chill. Fucking A. I hate hiccup burps. I can't stand those motherfuckers. Oh, man. But anyway, most of the time I feel fine. I feel perfectly okay, right? But you might assume because of the way that I look angry, and then the way that I speak monotonously, that like I have some kind of problem. But the reality is I'm just too nervous to show anybody any real emotion, because if I show somebody that I'm happy, or that I'm just not in a bad mood, I'm used to somebody going out of their way to try and do that to it, you know? And that was everybody, my mom, my dad, teachers, you know, people on the playground and stuff like that. And it all fed into the other thing. It all fed into the next thing. You know, if I had just parents who were on my side, I would have been able to look at a teacher and be like, fuck this idiot. Who cares what they think? You know, I'm going to keep being me, because they won't call my fucking parents, and then my parents won't flip the fuck out at me when I get home, you know? Or like on the playground, I would have fought more kids, and I would have not had to deal with a lot of shit. But again, if I fought those kids, a teacher would have called my parents. My parents would have absolutely like let me have it when I get home. You know, you have to live at home. And that is an extremely important aspect of a child's upbringing, is that their parents need to be on their side. A teacher is never going to be on your kid's side. Kids in the neighborhood or the playground or anything like that, they're never going to be on your kid's side. You need to be on your kid's side because you're going to be the only one who is. And if you are not on your kid's side, if every time you get a call from a teacher who says, "Oh, we had a bit of a problem in class today," your response is going to be, "Hey, Junior, get in here. You're nothing. You're a piece of shit. You're never going to be anything. You're going to end up in prison. You're going to da 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 da." Like, you're just going to shit all over them. You're grounded for fucking a month. Blah, 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 blah. Like, if that's what's going to happen every time, your child's like going to develop some like really bad shit. And I have some bad shit that I'm still dealing with today, you know? And again, that's why it's a little bit uncomfortable for me sometimes, like when I'm around people, or say when I'm on season 2 of Fish Tank and I don't know where the line is where I'm going to get happy fired, you know? Um, that's like, that was like the most annoying piece of it, was that like, I walk into the basement, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They look at me like I'm supposed to know what I'm doing when I'm just the karate guy. And then when I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? What do I do? And because of that, like the karate bit does not do as well as it could have done. They blame me for it. And now they want to fucking like get rid of me and shit like that. It's like, you know, that fucking sucks, dude. That's shitty. You know, that's shitty to do to somebody, if we're being honest here. Um, and it's like, hey, look, like I've said, it's all love. Good luck to them. I hope season 6 is even better than season 5 was. I've heard mixed reviews about it, but I'm gonna assume that there's just a lot of alarmism from people, you know. Kind of like with season 2. Season 2 was good. Season 2 was a good season. I don't care what anybody fucking says. That was a good season. But there was a lot of people at the time who were complaining. Um, you know, I wish them luck, but it's like it's frustrating to be someone who, like, I'm only going to perform well when I'm comfortable, and you have people who they see your comfort and they feel threatened by it, or they feel like because they are having a bad time, they want to try and like rip that comfort away from you or things like that, you know? And there's been plenty of times in my life where that has been the case. And it's like, yo, what the fuck? And that's why I don't want to be around people like that. That's why I'm like, hey, I have friends, you know, but like, I'm not trying to make new friends, for one thing. And it's not a constant, hey, let's go to the bar every day, dude, kind of thing, you know? Season 2 is the best. Yeah, you know, I don't know which season I would say is the best. Each season had some really good things about it, some really good aspects of it. Season 2, I think it would be top 3. It definitely would be top 3. Partially just because it was one of the few seasons that they've actually finished by now, you know. Um but I would hope they have all the kinks worked out. I would hope they have everything good this time. And yeah, you know, hopefully everything works out for them. You know, I know particularly now that I'm so far removed from a lot of the fish tank stuff, I'm a little more comfortable with the idea of talking about my thoughts on some things. I didn't want to be someone who, when there was a bunch of drama going down, I didn't want to add to that dog pile, because like that's not what I want to do, you know? I have some real grievances that, like, yeah, I have a right to feel this way, and I'm not gonna hitch that to some like clout chaser shit, which is a lot of what was going down when there was a lot of like bullshit going on with Fish Tank. I'm not saying it was all clout chaser shit. That's not what I'm saying. But there was quite a bit of that. And because of that, anything that was legitimate that anybody was talking about, it got attached to the clout chaser shit. It got attached to the I'm mad because I wanted to be a star and now they aren't answering my texts thing, you know? And I didn't want I didn't want my grievances to be attached to that shit, you know? I'm not out to get them or anything like that, you know? I wish them all the best, and like, I would work with them again. I just don't think it's going to happen, you know? I don't have that much time. I can't be going down to Georgia and they don't want me like that. So, you know, who want me? It was complete and really crazy season 2. Oh yeah, it was insane, you know? That's the thing about Fish Tank is that it's meant to be crazy. It's meant to be unhinged, you know? And like people just don't know what they want. Well, people know what they want. They want to complain. They want to bitch and moan is what they want to do. And because of that, you know, you have these people who they think they know what Fish Tank is. It's only season 2 and they think they know what Fish Tank is better than the people who are doing it, you know? Um it's like I said with the bathroom bit, like, oh, I took it too far on the took it too far show, take it too far show, excuse me. That's the whole fucking thing is that we're supposed to be doing things that wouldn't even fly on a regular reality TV show. That's the whole thing that's going on here. It's supposed to be Jackass meets Big Brother to the point where we had Bam Margera who has done worse things to his fellow man than anything that just about anything that anyone on Fish Tank has even done. He's hosting season 5. It's like fucking A, you know, that's like, hey, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of people, they just want someone to yell at. And, you know, in the case of Bitch Tank, I became the person to yell at, you know. In the case of other seasons, there was always another person to yell at. You know, season 2, I was somebody to yell at. Season 3, you know, there was somebody else. I think one of them was Jet, you know. But yeah, you know how it is. You know how it is. Scott and Haley should have done Border Patrol role play. That would have been funny. That would have been funny. Thoughts on Frank Castle? You know, I've met Frank like 2 or 3 times, and he's always been a really good guy. I gave him a ride to Chris Lynch's house during season 1. He had just gotten off the plane, and like I think I forget if he had already gone up to kind of fuck around a little bit, or if he was, if he was just there to say hello to everybody, but like he needed a ride. I was heading out anyway. I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll give you a ride. And like the conversations that we had, he seems like a really down to earth guy. He's very self aware. You know, one of the things he said to me, right? And I don't know if this is something that he would really like appreciate me saying necessarily, but it's a very good example of how down to earth he is. I asked him about like, hey, so you used to work with Sam. How was that back in the day? And he mentioned, like, yeah, I was kind of hard to be around back then. I had some shit going on inside of my head that made me a little bit tough to keep around. Um, I don't know why and how he stopped working with Sam. I do remember the first thing I saw of him was when he charged into that Pizzeria Uno, and he started screaming about taking shits. You know, I that was the first time I'd ever seen Frank Hassel was when I saw that Happy World Daddy thing. And yeah, I don't know the lore behind why he stopped working with them for a while. But like the bottom line is he to be able to say, yeah, there were things that I did, or yeah, you know, I wasn't that great, or whatever. It's like that to me is like a big thing because most people simply can't do that in an earnest way. And with him, I sensed that it was earnest. I sensed that he was truly like, yeah, I had to do some thinking. I had to do some reflecting, you know? Um, but yeah, I love that people cannot separate Frank's character. Oh yeah. Well, you know, like it's if all you have to go off of is what that guy does in public, like that's all you have to go off of. So you're going to make that assumption. And that's something about Frank that I think is he's at peace with is that understanding of like, okay, these people only know me as the guy who says he's got an insulin pump on his head in the middle of Walmart who tries fucking with people and stuff like that. People only know me as that guy, so they're going to make assumptions about me. I need to be okay with that, you know? We eating shit in here, Sensei? Yeah, we just finished it. Fuck, where'd I put it? Oh, man. Oh, I threw it away. I threw the cup away. We just got done. We just got done eating some shit. You know, it's a splooge drizzled shit is what it was, man. My buddy sent me "You dropped your dogs" video, and I was instantly on board. Fuck, I don't know. That sounds familiar. That sounds familiar. I don't know if I've ever seen that one. The thing is, I haven't seen a ton of Frank Hassel content in the first place. I got to be honest with you. I'm not like a content guy where like I'm gonna like go hard like on someone's back catalog or something like that. I'm not gonna go hard on Frank Hassel's back or anything like that. I'm gonna I'm going to get to know the guy first. I'm going to get to know the guy first before anything like that happens. Okay. um, no, but yeah, I haven't watched a ton of Frank's stuff, but the stuff he did with Sam was really funny. And the stuff that I've seen of him is really funny. I mean, like it's what's not to like about it? What's not to like about it? It's fun, you know? Fuck, man. Ah, geez, Louise. On fit. Jeez, man. On Fish Tank, they'll pressure you to do crazy shit, but when you actually do something crazy, they act like you're the weird one. Not a coincidence. All the winners have mostly been coasters. Yeah, I think that's legit. They like, yeah, it's like a weird self-loathing thing where it's like, hey, we're gonna make the shit and piss show, but when someone shits and pisses, ho ho, hey buddy, that's over the line, and it's like, all right guys, well, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And then they're not gonna have a plan half the time. And when someone like me comes in, where it's like, I would rather not overshoot where I think the line is. I'd rather undershoot where it is because I don't know where it is. So I'm like timid and I'm careful and I don't exactly know what to do or how to do it. Um, like of course I'm gonna underperform and they're gonna be mad at me for it. Or like a situation with Bitch Tank where they asked me to play the role that I played, and because I felt like I was more of a fixture because I was told that I was, I felt like, hey, if there is a line, I'm sure I don't have to worry about crossing it. Because I mean, look at what someone who is a fixture like Frank Hassel does all the time, right? Um, like I think it'll be okay for me to really steer into this character that they asked me to play. I think that would probably be not a bad idea this time. Really just spread my wings and go. I mean, after all, this is a half season anyway. Who cares? And then they started getting mad at me, but they also didn't have the guts to say anything to me about it. They sent Letty in to say things, a lot of which were made up, and those made up things would become things that people accused me of. And it's like, all right, here we fucking go. Um, yeah, it's like really weird. There's a professionalism problem. There's a professionalism problem, and it's just going to continue to get worse and worse, and more people are going to be like, "Yo, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to be um giving $10 a month for this." This is just the way it is. And I'm saying this not because I'm angry. I'm saying this out of concern because like I love Fish Tank even now. I didn't watch too much of season 5 and I'm kind of staying away from all the shit, but like I still love Fish Tank. I'm proud to have been a part of something for its golden age, even if its golden age was only the first 2 seasons, first 2.5 seasons. I'm proud to have been a part of something as cool and as fun as that. And there's a piece of me that kind of wishes that like it would go back to the golden age, if you will. There's a piece of me that wishes they would um get whatever they need to get out of wherever they need to get it out of and start doing some legit shit again. But it's not that hard either. I refuse to believe it's that hard. You just have to have an organized mind, and I don't think they have organized minds. I think they I think they're very disorganized guys, and I think that's pretty obvious. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me, geez. It's possible to be unprofessional and laid back and chill and yeah, dude, whatever, bro. While also being organized and regimented and like having a plan, having a vague outline of what needs to happen and about when it needs to happen. That is possible. And sure enough, Blood Games was such a good thing because people who were organized and regimented, they had a big say in the way that Blood Games went. you know? So even when it was like falling apart, there was still like a great deal of, okay, how do we salvage this? How do we get it? How do we figure it out? Maybe we can do this. Maybe we should plan this for that day on this time. There was a lot of that. It wasn't just, ah, shit, let's call somebody from a season before. Let's call somebody from a past season. Eh, yo, Binks. Hey, come on down. You know, I don't have any beef with Binks, by the way. It's just like an example. You know, it's like the whole no new faces. We're trying something new. Oh, shit. Oh, man, our not plan fell through. Yo, Letty. You know, it's like, all right, guys. Season 3 was Frank's best work. His manipulation of Bert was Shakespearean. Oh, yeah, 100%. I don't know why Letty seems to hate you so much. I don't think Letty doesn't hate me, and I don't hate Letty or anything like that. We had a beef. Part of that was spurred on by Jet and Ben trying to make content, but also, yeah, part of it was that she was upset about some things that I said. Um, and like, good luck to her. I hope she does well. I hope whatever she's doing, it's bringing her happiness and money too. Can't go wrong with money. And like, fuck, I don't have any issues with Letty. And I mean, if she has issues with me, it's like, all right, well, fucking whatever, bro. You do your thing. But yeah, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. Season 5 was pretty good. IMO, No Sam, and Frank Hassel is definitely a hard pill to swallow, but people will appreciate it later on. Maybe they will. Maybe they will, And maybe that is partially why people dislike it, is because they don't like the change, especially such big changes, But it remains to be seen. We'll figure that out later, We'll figure that out later, I hate being so blunt, but they're just 1 foot in, 1 foot out. That's all it is. They know they have gold, but it's easier to chill. Yeah, like, I mean, look, I my hair is falling out at an increased rate. I noticed over the last month that my hairline has receded like crazy. That's because I'm so fucking stressed all the time. You know how stressful it is to be married to a Brazilian woman? It's fucking stressful. No, I love my wife. I love my wife. I'm joking about that. But like, honestly, like, you wake up in the morning, you go, you do manual labor for your job for 8 hours, and then you have to go to an MMA gym, but you're not training. You're not doing the thing that you love the most in the world to do. You're not doing your favorite hobby. What you're doing is you're running a gym for some fucking asshole who said he was going to take care of you and treat you right, but he has not. You're 31 years old. You never made it to the UFC, and you still don't own a gym. Instead, you're just running this gym for this guy who owns it, and it's falling apart because he doesn't fucking do anything for it, right? Like, what I'm trying to say is, I do not have an easy life. I do not have a leisurely life. I do not have the kind of life where I get to wake up and just chase one thing and try and make that as good as I can. I don't have that. So to see them in a situation where they're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, it's like, what is your guys' fucking problem? What is wrong with you guys? Why didn't you pay the town? All you had to do was pay the town. You would have been fine. Why didn't you pay why didn't you pay the why didn't you slap 5 grand on the table for the 2 or 3 neighbors that surrounded the Blood Games house and say, look, for 2 weeks, we're going to be doing an online TV show. Please don't call the police on us. Please, you're going to hear some weird noises. We promise everything's fine. We promise. We'll even get, hey, here's how you can watch the show so you can see what we're doing. Please, we'll make sure by 12, by 1 a.m. every night, we're shut up and we're not keeping you up all night. We're begging you. Please don't call the police. Here, just sign this contract. The $5,000 is yours. That's all they had to fucking do, And it's like, being a dude who works for a living, it's like, seeing that is like, oh, man, that is fuck, dude. You got to be kidding me, bro. I'm sitting here losing my hair more than I already am. Eesh, guys, come on. Come on, dudes. What are we doing? God, bro, I found so many white hairs on my head today. It actually surprised me. Yeah, I have a few white hairs myself. There's like one in this area, I believe it is, but I'm not really going white or gray yet. I'm just fucking losing the hair on the top of my head. My boss promised me a position and I had to prepare like a year for it, then gave me like 2 or 3 classes worth of extra pay before not firing me correctly. Oof. Fuck that, dude. I'm sorry to hear that, Zach. That's fucking terrible, bro. That's fucking awful, bro. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I was having fucking seizures too. Like I took a week off and then I have a little bit more time where it's really slow at my work, so I have quite a bit more time off than I even bargained for originally. And like luckily the seizures have not really been happening like that. But it's like fuck man, to live the life that I live through basically no fault of my own. I didn't waste time like smoking weed in the bathroom or like sipping lean. I didn't do shit like that. Like I tried my best to do the right thing at any given time in my life. I just like I was abused by the system as many young men are. And it's just like to be in my situation and to see that happening, it's like, what do you guys have no idea how bad it could get for you. You really have no clue how bad it could get out there for you guys. You do not know. You do not fucking know. Um, Somebody said something. Oh yeah, Nuclear Snake. How you think you would do as a contestant, Scott? What would you do during a drunk piece of shit challenge, for example? I'd probably take a girl to the bathroom. No, but like I've thought about that before. It's like I'd like to believe I'd do good as a contestant, but there are aspects that I probably would not do that well in. I can be charismatic when I want to and need to be. It's just it's like an ultra instinct sort of thing in a video game where it's like you can only do it for so long before your battery runs out and you're just like, oh fuck. So it's like with social games and stuff like that, I might not be that great, but I like to think I'd be all right. I probably wouldn't be the first one outed. Outed. I wouldn't be the first one outed. I wouldn't be the first one out of the closet. Um I probably wouldn't be the first one to excuse me, fuck. I probably wouldn't what I'm trying to say is I probably wouldn't be the first one to get kicked, unless they rigged it that way. Yeah, that was the last time I worked for someone else, and that's my problem is that I work for other people. I work for other people. It's no bueno, no bueno. And then I come home and like I almost like have to twist my fucking brother-in-law into a pretzel because he's a disrespectful little fuck. And my sister-in-law who's sleeping on our couch is like rearranging our house on us because she just got a wild hair up her ass and is like, I think I will put this over here now, and I will do this, and I will take that, and it's like fucking get the fuck out of here. Is that Tank Hill music here? What's going on, my friend? I already ate, dude. I finished the poop like 45 minutes ago. The poop is gone. There's no more poop. It's done. It's gone. You missed it. You missed it. Sorry, Mr. Hill. What is something people misunderstand about internet fame? I don't think anyone really misunderstands anything about it. I just think it's all fake and gay, and that just because you're famous on the internet to any degree doesn't mean you're making money. It doesn't mean you're making good money. I really don't think that anybody who's making bank on the internet is making it like naturally. There's an astroturfed aspect of it in some way, shape, or form. There's always some kind of rich benefactor. There's always some kind of corporation. There's always some kind of conglomerate or group behind it. And that's something that I've known for a long time. So I guess that is like a misconception that people have, but it's not one that I've had. Most, if not all of the influencers that we know of, that we think of like A or B tier, they are funded in some way, shape, or form, and they usually grew up as a rich kid of either a mogul of some kind, or maybe even a celebrity. You know, like I can remember Auntie, I think her name was like Auntie Becky or something like that from Full House. The one who was married to John Stamos. I can remember like there was a situation where her daughter was an influencer or something like that. Her daughter was like a YouTube makeup bitch or like a YouTube vlogger bitch or something like that. You know, there's a great example. And the thing is, these people with their parents, they're not like constantly like flashing their parents in the camera like, oh hey, this is my mom, the one that was on Full House, got to kiss John Stamos a few times, haha, lucky lady, right girls, haha. Like that's like what was I gonna say? That's like that's what happens, you know. You may not even realize it, but this person you're watching talk about this thing may be like the son of your favorite fucking football player or whatever. You don't even know. You don't even know. So yeah, like it's all fake and gay, I guess is the way that I would say it, you know. Like it's fake and gay. It's fake and gay, you know. Brazilian feng shui is just pissing off the owner of the furniture. Sorry, Scott. Yeah, pretty much. Brazilian feng shui. I'm going to steal that from you, Cavalog. I'm going to steal that from you, you know. You need to be the right kind of redhead. What's the right kind of redhead? The one that has a full head of hair? Is that which one? Both Sam and Nick were rich growing up, so it's funny to hear Nick talk about how his dad owned 2 homes and sold cars like they were dirt poor. Yeah, you know, rich kids don't realize they're rich a lot of the time. Like I had a friend who actually I told a story about this friend of mine last stream. It was my Jewish friend growing up. He was a good dude, but you know he had a bit of an attitude about him. But he was a good dude. I love that dude to this day. He grew up in a 3-story house. He basically had a whole room. What the fuck? A whole floor, excuse me, of the house to himself. He had this giant barn. He had a huge yard. He used to ride his dirt bike. He had multiple dirt bikes. He used to ride his dirt bike around in the yard, you know? That's how big his yard was. He always had like a trampoline and all this shit, right? He got to do every fucking thing he wanted all the time. It was insane, right? And I can remember this kid trying to act like he and I were in the same economic rung, as if he wasn't rich, as if he didn't grow up as a rich kid and stuff like that. You know, it was fucking insane. He tried to tell me, right? So there was this guy, funny enough, he was actually in the martial arts sphere, in the MMA sphere. He was teaching Muay Thai at a gym that we knew of. He was a contractor, and they hired him, my friend's family, they hired this guy to do work on their kitchen, and he stole like $15,000 or $20,000 from my friend and like just walked off the job site and like didn't come back. So they had to do the thing where they hire another contractor, pay them, and then they went after him in the courts for the money that he stole. And it's like, yo, like 15 to 20,000 is a lot of money. If I owed somebody $15,000 to $20,000, I'd be a little bit miffed about that. But you know what? You're fine, kid. You're fucking fine. I would be fine if I owed $15,000 to $20,000 to somebody. It would be a fucking pain, bro. It'd suck. It would be awful. But you know what? I'd get over it. That's what, 2, maybe 3 years of my life where I'm paying off this debt, and I might even get it paid sooner because, you know, it's gonna fucking happen sometimes. You're gonna have a come up. You're gonna someone's gonna gift you $1,000 randomly, and you're gonna be like, oh shit, let's throw this at the debt so that I'm free quicker, you know? Like he was trying to say, oh yeah, I went through really rough times because of that. And it's like, no, you fucking didn't, dude. Your mother was always a stay-at-home mom. She never had to do anything for work. Your dad was bringing home the bacon. Your dad's driving around in Beamers. Your dad's letting you borrow the fucking BMW. You know, it's like, dude, get out of here, bro. Get out of here, dude. What are you talking about, bro? Holy fuck, man. Holy fuck. Holy shit. A bunch of Irish have been deported. Our news and lefty communities lost their mind and complained. Left, right, center are slamming Trump. Oh, yeah. That is one thing that I'm not a big fan of. That is one thing that I'm not a big fan of. You know, I don't have a problem with the Irish being here. You know, for one thing, there's not that many Irish here. I have a buddy, right? He lives up in New Hampshire. He came down here for work. He was on Hyannis Beach. He was in Barnstable, right? Is where Hyannis is. And or something like that. Fucking, I forget how the Cape works. I know there's like a Hyannis Beach or there's like a Hyannis in Barnstable, but the bottom line is he was on the Cape, and he shoots me a text and he's like, you know, there's tons of your wife's people here. There's tons of Brazilians around. You can't, anywhere in Massachusetts that you go to right now, you can't walk 2 feet without bumping into someone who's like, go up to Gal, yeah. I am from Minas Gerais, Rio. Have you ever heard of Rio de Janeiro? Hey, uh, hey, my friend, would you like some chicken hot? Some chicken hot. You put the chicken hot on the skewer and you put it on the grill, the churrasquera, and it is really nice. But my friend, this is so good. It is so good. Like, fucking, you cannot bump into some dude who starts talking to you like that. It's insane. You're gonna tell me that the like couple thousand Irish people that are here, whether they're here legally or not, they're a problem. It's like, I'm sorry, but no. No, I'm sorry. Let them stay. Let them stay. All right? Let them stay. Oh, excuse me. Fucking, a lot of them got deported back here and went right into court to be charged for the crimes they ran from. That is one thing about it. And you were saying, no, I'm telling you, be a fan of it, Scott. The illegals from here are not our best. Oh yeah, and I'm sure they're not, but like the thing you have to understand is that Irish criminals are better than American criminals, right? I'm not saying crime is good. What I'm saying is, like, Irish criminals, I would rather be around an Irish criminal than a criminal from, say, Chicago or Dorchester or Detroit, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Louisiana, fast. I would much rather have a dude who used to break into houses in Ireland who fled here, because there is a difference in culture. There is a difference in mindset. You know, even my wife mentioned, right? And my wife didn't even have to say this. I already knew it. In Brazil, if somebody pulls a gun and says "passa," they just want your shit. You are not going to get shot. They just want your shit. So if you give them your shit, they're going to take it, they're going to run, and you're going to get to go home. That's what's going to happen 99.99999% of the time in Brazil. When you are the victim of a crime, when you're in America, there is a huge chance. In fact, I would even say at this point, it is a probability that some dude walks up and he's like, "Hey, yo, give me your shit." And then after you hand him your stuff, he starts pistol whipping you and stomping your head. Or if you're a woman, he tries to grab you and take you to his car or into an alleyway and do some unspeakable things to you and all this other stuff. My wife is aware of this. She said, like, yeah, that's something that I've noticed, is that for you guys, crime is a way to be cruel. For my people, crime is a way to try and get some money because you're hungry. And it's like, fucking A. And I'm not even saying like, oh, so Brazilian criminals are fine. I don't want criminals in general, but you know what? Like, I'm fucking tired. I'm fucking tired of like not being sure if I'm gonna have to swing on someone because they're walking around fucking. They got the shiesty on. They got the shiesty on. I see some dude walking around like this. I'm tired of not being sure if I'm going to have to swing on this guy, because if he does try to rob me, it's not just going to be a robbery. It's going to be a let's humiliate the white boy ritual, which I would rather die than be humiliated by some fucking YN. I would rather kill that YN than be humiliated by him, you know? It's like, fuck that shit, you know? I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that shit. They have the gift of the gab. They could be the worst human you'll ever meet, but they'll chat you up and make you think they're the exact opposite. That's the Irish charm, all right. I do get why they're better. Oh yeah, you know. Um, what was I gonna say? Like I talked recently about being a chimney sweep for a couple of months when I was 19. I met the owner of that company through the gym. He used to come to my gym, and he was Irish. He was from Cork, and he tells me that he came here illegally in the 90s. He went to the Canary Islands, and then he came here because he was wanted in Ireland for selling and breaking into houses. This is a guy who, before he got into that, he was playing like pro level hurling. He was like playing, he was doing hurling in front of like stadiums of tens of thousands of people, apparently, is what he told me. I never bothered to look into that too hard, but yeah, and this like he goes back to Ireland, but every time he goes back, it's like, oh shit, is this gonna be the time? Is this gonna be the time I get caught? Are they gonna arrest me for this? All right, here we are going through customs. Yes, my name is James O'Shaughnessy. I did chimney sweeping with Mr. Medicare. But yeah, like that's a great example of that. Honestly, that's a great example of that. A lot of IRA dudes ran to New York and Boston. You know, that's another thing too. That's another thing. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, the Irish are definitely one of the smartest groups of Europeans. There's no way they're not. If you meet an Irish person, like the average Irish person, there's an intellect to them that you can kind of sense. Even talking to fucking Justa Minx all those years ago, like you can tell, even though she's a complete mess and she's like fucking retarded, she's not stupid. You know, there's just kind of a there's the Irish as a whole are a very bright group of people. There's just something there's something about us. There's something about us Irish folk. There's something about us. That's right, us. No, but there really is something about the Irish. I don't know what it is, you know. Or maybe I'm just meeting really smart Irish people. But I do think that gift of gab, I do think that charm, a lot of that comes from observation. The Irish are very observant, and that's kind of why I think they're pretty smart. Unlike the Finns, the Irish are the master race of Europeans and have divine and genetic right to enslave every other race on earth. Agree, hard agree, hard agree. Based, based. Based much? Based? Travelers went to Britain because there was nowhere left for them here. Many times they've been ran on by settled travelers. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. You go to England, you're like, oh, I think it'll be a little bit easier here. And then you just get the shit kicked out of you by the guys who moved there 20 years earlier. That's funny as hell. All the hurling and GAA lads here are into selling and crime. It's because the system basically ignores them mostly. That's their pride and joy. You see those athletes, can't have them locked up. That's pretty funny. Can you do an Irish accent, Scott? A little bit. A little bit. Lots of raw heads over there. Lots of raw heads over there hiding because they robbed the raw here. I see. Irish gypsies always want me to pay them cash in hand. I'm sure they do. I'm fucking sure they do. You know, cash in hand up front, right? And then you go to the job site and all the copper's been torn out and they're nowhere to be found. I miss the old Scott streams when he would stuff his belly with poop. Don't worry, they're coming back. They're coming back. I do miss prison food streams. I do miss doing the prison food streams. I just don't have the time or the energy for this anymore, but I don't want to give it up until I absolutely have to, you know. I understand why nobody watches me anymore. It's because, you know, I'm just sitting here shooting the shit. If you like a nice chill atmosphere where you're just having a conversation with someone, then yeah, you probably still watch me and you still probably enjoy them to some degree. But when it comes to like, oh hey, I'm gonna have this person on stream, we're going to be doing this activity. We're going to do that. Ooh, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. It's like, yeah, you're probably not going to tune in. Probably not going to tune in, Crime in all first world countries is like that. Travelers in the British Isles, especially. I see what you're saying, orangutan lover. Yeah, like because at that point it almost becomes like but the thing is, it's worse wherever there are certain groups of people. It is worse, and it's because. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, it's because it's because crime is a sport to certain groups of people. Crime is a sport to certain groups of people. It's a way to entertain, and it's a way to enrich, and it's a way to try and prove to other people that you are worthy. And because of that, you can't just rob somebody anymore. You have to rob them and then kick their head in and stuff like that, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I don't think you saw it before, but I was wondering what you think about starting an audiobook channel and reading the audiobooks yourself. I mean, I could do something like that, and I don't know, maybe it would not be that bad, but again, it's a time sink issue. I don't have the time or the energy to be doing a bunch of stuff. I've actually considered uploading my voice to 11 Labs and trying that out, but I don't think 11 Labs is good enough yet. Oh, excuse me. I don't think 11 Labs is quite there yet. Plus, like, I don't know how much I trust them, I don't know how much I trust those guys. Authenticity has its own strength regardless of numbers. Oh yeah, and thank you very much, Yoshi. I appreciate that, like, I'm doing this because I love it. I'm doing this because it's fun and I have a good time with it, 20 concurrent viewers right now. I think the high was like 25 concurrent or something like that. 27. The high this stream was 27 concurrent viewers, and that is the most that I have had for a long time. And you know what? Like, that's fine by me. I only have 150 views total right now throughout the entirety of the stream. Like, if I was that worried about trying to make money, if I was that worried about clout, I probably would have stopped by now. I do this because I have a good time with it. I don't care who watches, who doesn't. But I am also getting to a point. I am also getting to a point where I'm going to probably have to leave this behind. I'm probably going to have to stop streaming, at least temporarily, but probably permanently. Because when I do move, like, I'm not going to have time to be making sure that I can stream every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. It's just not going to happen that way. It's not going to work out, as much as I would love to. Excuse me. I was in Belfast on a tour from the US, was walking downtown and suddenly surrounded by like 10, 12-year-olds who were asking me to buy them wine. Oof. I couldn't understand a word they were saying. That's funny as hell. It's like, I don't know what you kids want. Fucking leave me alone. Leave me alone, bro. What are you guys doing? As I said, I stopped a black fella from following an old woman home only a few weeks back, and it was local news. Never had to do that with a knacker, in all honesty. Well, you see, how do you know that black fella wasn't there to just like try and sell her a Bible or something like that, huh? Huh, Cavalog? How do you know he wasn't just trying to make sure she got home safe, huh? Huh? Man. Man, oh man. It is a little past 2 hours. I'm not getting out of here right this second, but I probably will head out soon. We'll see. We'll see if anybody else has anything they want to say. Yo, what's going on, Eggy? Hope you're doing well tonight, man. We have a celeb in the chat. We got Egg White. Everybody say hello. I gotta make sure, like, I gotta turn on Kick notifications and stuff like that, because I never seem to know when you're streaming, Eggy. I only hop on Twitter and you're like great stream today, and I'm like, oh fuck, if I knew he was streaming, I would have fucking watched a little bit. I would have popped in, said hello, you know. I gotta pop in from time to time to say hello. I've had a beard since I was 15. The amount of times I had lads older than me ask me to buy them stuff was hilarious. Yeah, it's always funny being the dude that looks older than you are, you know? Until you get to the age of 31 and you look like you're 45, that fucking sucks. That's no fun. That's no fun, you know? When you have a Norwood 5 and you're only 31, that's no fun. That's no fun. About to go live now, which is why I just opened YouTube for tunes. We all got love for the Sullivan Gang. Hey, thank you very much, Eggy. I'll jump in there. I'm gonna hop off soon myself. I'll make sure I pop in and say hello. One moment. Bada bing, bada boom. Eggy, what's your I don't think I follow you on Kick yet. I don't know if you're still here right now, but if you're here right now, drop your name on Kick so I and other people can make sure to follow and say hello from time to time. I had a friend who was balding at 18. It was crazy. Oh yeah, you know. Oh yeah. I feel like it's better to go bald earlier because at the very least you can kind of like accept it. You know, me like I want to get hair plugs. Like I'm going to be traveling to a country where like it's medical procedures are cheaper and more accessible. So it's like I'm thinking about the idea of fuck it, why don't I get hair plugs just because like I can. I wouldn't fly out to Turkey just to get hair plugs. But like I'm going to Brazil, which is a place that people do those kind of procedures from time to time. I'm going to be there because that's where the wife is from. So why don't I shove that in there if I can? But if I can't, truthfully, I'll probably give it another year or so, and then I'll see what I look like bald. You know, I just don't think I have a very good bald head. You know, that's the issue. That's the issue that I have. You know, 2 egg white. Gotcha. I'm gonna give you the follow right now. There we go. There we go. Hell yeah, I just followed you, man. Everybody make sure you follow Egg White on Kick. All right. 2 egg white. No spaces, no underscores. All right. Dark Brotherhood Scott. Hell yeah. I only ever have long hair or buzzed. If I started balding, I'll just stay buzzed. Yeah, you know, I've done buzz cuts, but like not like military like closeness buzz cuts. It's like you know a number 2 or a number 3, and just fucking like take it all off. That's the kind of buzz cut that I've done. You know. How did you meet your wife? Tinder. She she was coming to America because she was going to donate a kidney to her sister, which she did in late 2023. Actually, the week season 2 of Fish Tank started, my wife donated her kidney to her sister. Um but yeah, she was going to donate a kidney to her sister, and she was going to be here for like 5 or 6 months. So she wanted to have friends, and she was like, "Well, I guess I'll see what I can find on Tinder." And we matched, and I met her the day she got off the plane. She hadn't even seen where she was going to be living at the time. Uh, she and I met like right away, you know, and then she went back to where she was going to be staying. And what was I going to say? Yeah, the rest is history, you know. Nah, bro, fuck plugs. Maybe this is a cringe take, but you're a real man with real features. You are winning. I mean, yeah, like that's the thing is like I'll be bald. I just don't want to go bald. And right now I'm going bald. I'm going bald. And it's like I still have too much hair for me to feel like I should shave it, you know? Um I still have a little bit too much hair, and it doesn't look that bad when I cut my hair. When I have a haircut, my hair's a little too long right now is part of the issue. Um so it's like, fuck, what am I going to do, you know? But overall, like, yeah, you know. That's the thing is like there's a reason why there's a reason why stars from the 50s and 60s and 70s, there's a reason why they weren't all like dreamboat looking motherfuckers. They were like Sean Connery was like 31 when he was playing 007, you know, and he looked it. He looked it, you know. There's this weird feminization, you know, just the gynocentrism that exists in the world has convinced men that they have to look like children, and it's really weird because like this is one of those things that when you say it, it kind of is almost taken as a joke, right? And women like to say it about men, where it's like, if you like a woman with shaved legs, it means you're a pedophile because only young girls have bare legs. If you don't want a girl with bush, that means you want like a young girl. You're a pedophile is what it is. But like you'd be very surprised how pedophilic a lot of women out there are, where it's like they see a guy who, because he's got a healthy amount of testosterone, he's losing his hair in his 30s, or like his skin is not like soft as a baby's bottom. It's not smooth as a baby's bottom, you know? And because of that, like dudes have convinced themselves for a couple of different reasons. It's not just that women are stupid. It's there's a couple of different reasons this has happened, but that's one of the big ones. Men have convinced themselves that if you look 30 at the age of 30, that's a problem. You know, you're supposed to look like you're 16 years old for the rest of your life, and if you don't, then that's a big deal. And it's like, yeah, all right, fucking whatever. Well, it ain't gonna happen. You know, you got a problem, I'll beat the fuck out of you. You know, oh wow, you're so much better than me. You look like a pretty boy. I could break you in half, and there'd be nothing you could do about it. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, I always just thought he had a large forehead and a mature hairline, but I believe him if he says he's balding. I mean, the thing is, like, I've had this hairline for a long time. I just see that it's probably creeping back a little bit, you know, is the issue. I want Sydney Sweeney. Me too. Me too. Um, it's hilarious that Scott's wife is legit that real and good online woman that others base scams off of. Oh yeah, it was. And the thing is, like, it didn't have to happen that way either. Like we matched in, I want to say, November of 2019, and then she came in March of 2020. So there were multiple months where we had to keep talking, and I had seen a couple of other women in that time. I was talking to her while I was basically dating this other girl, you know, not like talking. But the thing is, me and that other girl weren't dating either. It's not like I was cheating on her or anything like that. It's that me and this girl were just kind of seeing each other, I guess you could say. And I'm also like still kind of talking to the woman that would become my wife. And then things fell through with me and that girl. And then my wife came in March, and you know, just one thing leads to another. Oh, excuse me. She's a really great woman, and I love the hell out of her. You know, she's got her issues. I've got mine. We're both trying to overcome those issues right now. But overall, I'm very glad that I married her, and I'm very happy in our relationship. Even when I'm unhappy, I'm still happy. You know, there's a difference between unhappiness and just like anger. You know, and like when I'm angry about something, that's all it is I'm just angry. I'm unhappy with like the way I'm being treated, or the way something went down, or some other aspect of that. You know, and that's something that a lot of people don't understand, both like offensively and defensively, is like, if I'm unhappy with a specific thing, I don't have to torch the entire relationship over it. And also, if somebody is unhappy with a specific thing, it would probably be better if you just don't do that thing anymore. But so many people, especially women, but people in general, they don't get that. There's no such thing as compromise, you know? We grew up on these Disney shows and all this other shit that told people, "Oh, you're perfect the way you are, and somebody who really loves you will accept you for who you are no matter what." No matter what. And it's like, no, that's not the way that it is. Nobody's good. The only good is Christ. You know, everybody else sucks. Everybody sucks, dude. You know? It's ridiculous. Relationships are complex. Oh yeah, for sure, you know. Excuse me. Do you believe in leprechauns? That'd be fun if they existed. That'd be nice, but nah, I don't think I do. Maybe I'm biased here, but Scott looks Irish, looks Irish, like genuinely actually has that phenotype. He has the same head shape, forehead, and hair as my cousins and stuff. I really couldn't consider that balding. It's just fucking Cavalog goes to his family reunion, and it's just me 20 times. It's like a copy paste of me sitting in 20 different seats at his family reunion, just like, hey, all doing the same thing at the same time, like they all look at the same time. Hey, 20 times, man. But yeah, there's a lot of I I guess we'll talk a little bit about relationships and stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of reasons why relationships fail today, and a lot of it does come down to women are shit. But like, if you were only ever going to talk about how women are shit, you're going to find yourself in a place where like all you can do is talk about how women are shit, and you can't talk about like anything in a way that is going to be appealing to anybody who is, one, a woman, but two, also somebody who they don't understand things on the level that you do, you know. But like, people are not taught to be partners anymore. They're taught that a relationship is basically just like living with a roommate that you fuck sometimes. In some cases, in other cases, there's a dead bedroom, and you basically are just roommates that share a bed. You know, that's the type of shit that happens. But yeah, when it comes down to it, like, the idea of sacrifice has been beaten out of the American psyche. And I mean the Western psyche in general, but especially the American psyche. And then there are tons of other aspects societally as well as socially that allow people to get away with things that they shouldn't be allowed to get away with. And it's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. That's the way people are. You know, people suck. People suck. But I mean, if you truly care about someone, you'll be willing to alter your behavior for them. You know, if you're constantly like hawking loogies into the trash bin, and that makes your significant other gag, and she's like, yo, stop that. If you truly love that person, you'll make that small adjustment, you know. You'll start hawking them into the sink or something like that, you know, or some other thing like that. You know, you'll wait till she's not around. You'll make sure that you're not going to like do whatever it is. And men understand that a lot easier than women do. Women grew up, like I said, on that crack cocaine known as women are wonderful. And because of that, they've been told by a lot of different people, the most guilty of which are fathers. Fathers, when they are in the picture, are the most guilty party of this, and they are heinous, they are evil. Old men are trash. Old men ain't shit. Fuck boomer dads. Fuck Gen X dads. Fuck them both. Fuck millennial dads. They all suck. Girl dads, millennial, Gen X, boomer girl dads, fuck them all. They're pieces of shit, you know. But like, they tell their daughters, you're the best. Men are icky. They're gross. They suck. None of them are good enough for you. You don't have to change a thing about yourself. You don't even have to be nice to the guy. You can be as mean as you want to the guy, and it's perfectly like normal and reasonable. It's great. It's fantastic. It's disgusting. These people are gross. They're heinous. You know, they deserve to be put in the stocks and have fucking tomatoes and cabbages thrown at them, eggs. You know, hit them with water balloons full of like paint and stuff like that. That's what they deserve. You know, it's gross. They're just terrible. Space Void Infinitum says 100%. Glad you agree, sir. Glad you agree. You as well, same, 2505. Man. A healthy relationship needs patience more than perfection. Yeah, and that's something that I struggle with, you know. The thing that sucks though is that when you're dealing with the same thing over and over and over again, it's like you need to be patient, right? Like for instance, right? In Brazil, they do that thing that black people do in America, where like when someone's annoyed, they go, they make that noise with their mouth. I can't even make that noise with my mouth. I don't know how they make it. What I just did was not exactly what they do. That like, here we go type shit, right? I couldn't do it, right? My wife does that. My fucking wife does it, and they do that shit in Brazil. That's just something they do in Brazil. And it like when I hear that, I want to put a hole in a wall, because not only is it grating to me as like an audio like sound, but also there's like it's attitude is what it is. If I'm like, no baby, don't do that, and I hear in return, it's like, oh, you think you're gonna give me that fucking attitude right now? Fuck you. Like she doesn't realize she's doing it though. And sometimes I lay into her. I'm like, "Ugh." No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, obviously. Um but but like I'm like, yo, you fucking did it again, dude. Why do you keep fucking doing that? You need to stop doing that shit, dude. Fucking enough. Like I lay into her a little bit, right? And it's like she has done that for her entire life. She's 32 years old. She's like 6 months older than me, 7 months older than me, right? She's done that her entire life. I met her when she was like 25, you know? Like I gotta give her some time, and I gotta be like a little bit patient. But there also comes a time where it's like, look, it's been like 5, 6 years that I've been asking you to stop doing that. Why do you keep doing it? Like, have you not put any thought into that? Have you not put any thought into maybe reacting differently? It's like me with the thing. I do I do that less than I used to on these streams. Oh, fuck. I hate that shit. I do that less than I used to on these streams. If you listen to some of my first streams, it was a lot worse than it is now. I still do it, just not as bad. And the reason I've gotten better is because I have purposefully, I have very, very consciously told myself I need to stop doing that. And now instead of filling silence with like, I try my best to just let the silence be silence. I just, instead of going I just inhale. I inhale, or I try to fill the void with something else, you know? That's just an example of like the balance between like I need to have patience, but also how many times are you gonna do that type shit, you know? Um, that's an issue, is that men are told they have to have patience and women are told they just get to do whatever they want all the time. And even if a woman is like, oh, you're right, that's not really good, I was being a bitch, you know, you're right, I was being such a bitch, that wasn't okay, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have said that, I was being a bitch is what it was, you know. I'm kind of bitchy sometimes. Like, even when they're like that, fucking they still turn around and they think, no, it's fine, I get to do this all the time no matter what. My daddy said I'm the best, and that boys drool and girls rule, and no man is good enough for me. So if you don't like the fact that I do shit that gets on your nerves to the point you want to put your head through a window, you want to climb up on the roof and nosedive off, well, that's your problem, buddy. It's like that's their attitude, that's their fucking attitude, you know. Oh man, because they're genuinely like that. I suck my teeth at them and stare, and they don't know how to react and get confused. Yeah, they don't expect their own shit getting thrown back at them, do they, Cavalog? Do they? You know, man. Thanks for teaching me nothing. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Old parents, old man parents. Musta X1. Oh man. I probably should head out though. You know, I'm gonna head out in the next 30 seconds because that's gonna put us at 2.5 hours right on the dot. You know, 2.5 hours right on the dot. Thank you everybody who tuned in today. You know, it's funny. Like for a while, I was having trouble breaking 100 views. Like I was getting like 80 views, and then people would watch the VODs, and that would bring me over 100. The last couple of streams, I've actually done decently well comparatively. I have 173 views on this stream right now. So I want to say thank you everybody who popped in. You know, thank you everybody who is still here as well. Thank you, Mr. Gooseman, for the $5. I'm sure you're gone by now, but thank you, sir. I appreciate that. That's another thing too, is I'm getting donations again. All of a sudden, people are fucking donating to me again. It's funny, a slight little bump out of nowhere. I still don't get fucking any views, but hey, I'm getting more views than I was, which is more than the little. So, thank you all so much, for real. Thank you all so much. It was good to see you too, Cavalog. I know you being in on the Emerald Isle. Oh yeah. Hold on. I want to see if I can show you something real quick, Cavalog. A nice I don't know how well you can see it now, but looking at it, it looks like there was a mirror effect, but there's some coins in here. It's an Ireland, it's the old Emerald Isle. It's a whatever it's called, a fucking cigarette holder. I don't think it works though the way it's supposed to. I think you have to replace this thing because it looks like this thing is not going to hold anything in place. But I'm trying to sell it. I'm trying to sell it on Marketplace or something like that. I've gotten into flipping coins and other things like that as a hobby, and I just happened to find this for mad cheap, and I was like, oh, that's cool. We're in Boston. Somebody's gonna want that thing. But yeah. Again, thank you, everybody. I appreciate the hell out of you guys. I will talk to you later. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming tomorrow night. I will try, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. If not, maybe I'll do Sunday, or maybe I'll do Monday. But we'll see. I will be streaming again soon, though. Other than that, thank you very much. And until next time, peace out.
Suck Sullivan, don't mess with his load, or you will get undone. Spinning round and round, bleeding on the ground. Scotty Rocker, laundry killer, no remorse in this beamer. Fabric assassin, hood cleaner, coming for your Rasta queen. Rape on the washing machine, no use to fight back. MMA, knock your nigga head like a KKK. Hush your nigga mouth if you can't walk the talk. Smokes. Me running really, really fast. Ginger eye round the back of me black ass. Chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Closing inch by inch, got me in a pinch. Modern day Scotty Rocker, laundry lynch. use to fight back. MMA, knock your nigga head like a KKK. Hush your nigga mouth if you can't walk the talk. Smoke, me running, really, really fast. Ginger eye on the back of me black ass, chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Closing inch by inch, got me in a pinch. Modern day Scotty Rock a laundry lynch. Chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Oh, close, smoke, me running really, really fast. Ginger eye on the back of me black ass, chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Closing inch by inch, got me in a pinch. Modern day Scotty Rock a laundry lynch. Or you will get turned up. No,